Welcome to the Pilates Physios, where anatomy meets abs and science meets sweat. I'm Tanya, physiotherapist and co-founder of Studio Pilates International. I'm super passionate about making Pilates education better and training world-class Pilates instructors with real-world skills.
And I'm Mangahas, a physiotherapist, course facilitator and veteran Pilates instructor.
Together we're diving into the world of Pilates from a physio's point of view, breaking down movement science, busting myths, sharing instructing tips, and helping you become the Pilates instructor everyone wants teaching their class. Being a great instructor, there's so many facets of it. Let's talk about getting hands-on, physically correcting, and also palpating muscles to help with correct technique and activation, James. Talk about that. How important do you think that is?
Look, I think if you are a great instructor, you want to cover all bases of learning. Okay, so we've got our visual demonstration of the exercise. We've got use of the cueing formula to make sure that we're getting all of the right information out of the right spots. Mm-hmm. I do feel like there is an important place where physical corrections can really enhance a client's understanding of a movement, right? So, with physical corrections, what they can do is that if you have a client who is more kinesthetic and, needs to do and feel something to be able to understand and exercise more, that is where your physical corrections are going to be able to really provide so much more value for that client. Now, I've had situations where we've done a physical correction on someone and it's turned an exercise from someone on something that they don't particularly like or is uncomfortable to something that's suited them much better and they feel like they want to do it again, and that's with, constant visual and verbal cueing, doing all of those things and just hitting a bit of a brick wall. Using your physical corrections can really help those people understand what you actually want them to do. I think it's important for us to understand that with clients that sometimes, as health professionals or, fitness professionals, we're kind of in a bit of an echo chamber where we feel like everyone should understand how their body moves. And that's 100% not the case.
Not for most people.
Yeah, exactly.
Including us before we did lots of Pilates as well. Literally most people aren't that way.
Yeah. And I might be good at something, but then other components I might be terrible in, and sometimes I need that physical correction to be able to guide me so that then eventually I can understand what I need to do with my body, I do think, though, that there are some important things that we have to be mindful for when it comes to physical corrections. It's, things like how you're actually performing them, where you're placing your hands to be able to perform the physical corrections, so that way your clients feel comfortable with that. And also, obviously, the idea of permission, making sure that everyone knows that that's actually happening before you start just getting in there,
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And it actually surprises me is that a lot of courses don't teach it at all. And I think it's super important. Sometimes, as you say, you can say everything to someone, but literally you just need to move them into the right position.
Yeah.
And then even just with the activation of the muscles, research shows that when you touch a muscle, it brings your mind to body connection to that muscle. If someone's shoulder blades keep coming up around their ears and you just say, draw your shoulders down and back, sometimes that cue, it's a great cue and you need to say it, but sometimes you actually need to go and just actually touch the muscles. And as soon as you do, the person goes, oh, I know where I'm meant to tighten now, Same as with glutes, same as with T-zone abs. So I think as well as correcting, I think it can also really enhance the activation for people. And I'm, really big on, if you've got doing a reformer class in, anyone that's got kind of neck shoulder pain, the palpation of those stabilizing muscles really helps. It helps I know I like it when someone does that to my shoulder blades. So yeah, I think it's really important. I think that it's underused and undertaught.
Yeah, absolutely. And also even, thinking about all the cases that you can think of, if you have someone who is lower level in terms of, they're just getting out of an injury and they want to, they want to get physically better. Sometimes those people are a bit afraid of movement. You shouldn't be, but like I think it's important that to understand people are scared of moving into different positions. And your physical corrections can help someone feel more safe as well, which then they can start to do things with their bodies that they may have not felt that they could have done before. So
yeah, exactly right. And it's understandable that people feel a little bit fearful if they've had a horrific injury. The last thing they want to do is hurt themselves again. And yeah, you're getting hands-on does help people feel more secure, and it also keeps them safer. As well. And you're helping them to feel which muscles they should be activating. So yes, I'm all for it. Obviously, with permission, it's something we practice a lot on the courses and make sure that people are comfortable with doing it. But yeah, I do think it's super helpful, and sometimes just a much quicker and easier way of actually correcting someone and getting them to do what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.